What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NBA DFS video. It is Thursday edition. It is leap year. It is February 29th. We are back with a 6-game slate that we are going to break down. If you've never been here before, it's a little bit different than what you're used to, but we try to have a giveaway every single day that we possibly can. There's 2 ways to win. The first way, like this video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment so the comment picker can pick you up. If this video gets at least 50 likes on it and you have left a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. 100 likes is a chance to win a free month. 125 likes is a chance to win a free year. And if any of our videos ever get 150 or more likes, you leave a comment, you are a YouTube subscriber, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass. On top of that, you have a second chance to win on the same day. Like the video, be a subscriber. The comment you leave, if that comment you leave is a we have a contest also. If you can predict who is going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points and how many fantasy points will they score on DraftKings, you have a chance to win a free week of content. So closest without going over. If you guess the player and the exact DraftKings fantasy points, you will win a free year, which is normally worth $199. So 2 ways to win. Very simple, very easy. Hit the like button, leave a comment, help us with the algorithm, and we will help you with giveaways every single day until we stop making videos. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. That is one way to get engaged with the community here. Another way is clicking on the ads. I know they're annoying, but clicking on the ads helps us. But we have FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. We're going to go over that at the end of this video. I also take suggestions. What things you guys would like to hear or see in some videos. So yesterday's suggestion was put a core of like 4 players on the slate. And these videos go out a little bit earlier, so obviously the cores are going to be harder to build around. The value plays open up later on. That's another reason as to why we don't have those on the video, because other plays will open up. But I did respond to that person, and what I said was, and this is true, in the description of this video, not only is today's article, which we take projections off of, and we go 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value players at each position that we like with the projections, but on top of that, we have a Discord link. And in that Discord link, in the NBA DFS channel, every day I try to put out both Fanduel and DraftKings core plays and value plays. They go out about 2 hours before tip-off, give or take 2 hours before tip-off. So just so you know, it's a great suggestion. We already do it in the Discord channel. I'm trying to build that community as well. And once we get into baseball season, we're going to rock and roll. So that being said, I'm going to try to switch it up a little bit on this video, maybe make it a little bit less time consuming. We're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to go through the games, all 6 games. We're going to look at the Vegas numbers. Then at the end of that video, or at the end of this video, we are going to build a lineup using our NBA points allowed by position tool. Now, one way to build a lineup, not the only way to build it. So a lot of people have asked, a lot of people have used our info. But if you need a little bit more help, you can go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Check out all the NFL or NBA content, MLB content coming soon. We got PGA. Make sure you've already checked it out. Depending on when you've watched this, the PGA is probably already locked. It locks at 5:45 Central, I think. AM. NBA, NASCAR this weekend, all the works. So that being said, FTA Plus, you can get it for $24.99 a month. You can get a yearly pass, normally $199. Use the promo code MLBVIP. Get it for $75. We have a few coupon codes left. So that being said, we look at Milwaukee and Charlotte. We look at the odds. We've got a blowout. It's probably going to be a blowout. Charlotte is a bad team. Milwaukee is pretty good. Giannis you're going to be paying up for. The problem is here. It is a 10.5 point spread as of the making of this video, but only a 219.5 over-under. That scares me with paying up for Giannis. Definitely scares me a little bit. Charlotte, we don't know if Ball is going to be there. It's just a whole thing. So we look at that. Obviously, Giannis got the questionable tag. He is probable to play Thursday. Again, going to have the questionable tag. He's had that tag for a while now. He has not missed a game since January 17th. The problem is Okay? He just played Charlotte the last game. They won easily. Charlotte only put up 85 points. 85 points. Giannis only played 24 minutes. I feel like that's probably going to be the same kind of thing we're going to see. I don't think Charlotte has a chance in this one. Again, I'm not comfortable paying $11,300 for Giannis. The only way I would do it, obviously, if he could absolutely go off in the first half, that's the only way I think he pays off this salary here. So by paying off, what I mean is we are looking for, in cash, 6.5 to 7 times value, meaning 11,300 times 6.5 times 7 times 7.5. That's the target you're looking for. I just don't think he gets there. I don't want to pay up for Giannis today. Ball, on the other hand, we look at this. He has not played since January 26th. It's been over a month. And he's already been, so he was ruled out Tuesday. I fully expect him to be ruled out yet again, which will open up value. But with Giannis being here, I don't want to pay that. I'm looking at Lillard. I love me some Lillard. He's got a fantastic matchup here, 8,800. Game log, just played. My problem is, so he's $200 more than he was. He's coming off 45 fantasy points there. Only played 25 minutes, though. But that's almost 2 times fantasy points per minute, which is great. So if I'm paying up for Lillard in this one. Bridges obviously makes sense. We can kind of see. It played 37 minutes against Milwaukee. Only put up 17 real points and 24.25 fantasy points. Not good. If I'm taking the ball here, I'd rather have Milwaukee. So Damian Lillard is my number one player that I want in this game. We could look at Trey Mann. 33 minutes against that game, 29.5 fantasy points, 5,600 there. For whatever reason, they've dropped him down 200 for whatever reason. But yeah, Trey Mann at 5,400, value option for me. Malik Beasley, I would like him. You can kind of see 4,700, same price. Looked at his game last time against Charlotte, 26 minutes. So the minutes were there. He didn't even get 1 point per minute. So honestly, Trey Mann on the Charlotte side and Damian Lillard are the ones that jump out to me early. Grant Williams at 4,300, probably not. And the minutes are there, the points aren't. There's not a ton that I like in this game as of right now. Again, value will open up. We'll get a little bit more clearer mindset here. If Giannis is ruled out, probably not. He'll probably be in for half the game. So still like Lillard, still like Mann. You could look a little bit at Nick Richards. Brook Lopez on the Milwaukee side. He's got the minutes. Trying to see if he played the minutes here and what he got. So only played 23 minutes in that game. So that is my problem. The minutes are not going to be, if this game follows the exact same way the other game did the 2 days ago, I'm scared to use them. So I'm probably avoiding this game for the most part, outside of like Lillard, maybe Richards, maybe Mann a little bit. The next game we're jumping into, Utah versus Orlando. We are looking at Orlando open up as a 4.5 point favorite. There is no over-under at the moment, which is kind of neat, kind of weird. I don't know if I like it much. Not a ton of over-unders yet, but you kind of look at this. Who do you feel confident about? Mark Cannon obviously makes sense. Wagner, Colin Sexton. I mean, these are all the guys. Keontae George has been intriguing, but the price they've put him up, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. So we used him on the 25th when he was 5,300, and I said his price. If you go back, I said his price is starting to creep up. That it doesn't feel good to use. 5,700. He went for 25.25. Played 34 minutes. So if he was again down to 4,700, 4,700, I would like him. He is capable of big games. Seeing if he's played Orlando this year. Does not look like he has. I just don't trust it. I think they're going to be playing from behind. For tournaments, I'm okay with him. But again, his price is going up there. If I'm paying around that price, I'd rather have Carter Jr. I'd rather have Walker Kessler. Jalen Suggs did let us down on Tuesday night for 16.75. He did let us down pretty big. Taylor Hendricks, value, 4,400. Not bad at 24.5 fantasy points there. I would look at Taylor Hendricks for a cheaper option. Yeah, I would no for him. Jonathan Isaac being questionable, I don't trust him. Chris Dunn being this price. Looking at this, yeah, Chris Dunn's not doing much. So, you know, Paolo, if you're looking, Mark Cannon, Franz Wagner, Colin Sexton, those guys. John Collins did let us down his last game. I don't like his matchup here. If I'm paying right around that price, I'd rather pay for Clarkson. Probably off of Keontae, looking at Carter, Kessler, Suggs, maybe a little bit of Suggs, Taylor Hendricks. I will definitely look. Markelle Fultz, maybe a little bit as well at 4,000. Again, 6 games, get a little bit crazy with how you build your lineups. Moving on, Atlanta versus Brooklyn. We look at this game. Brooklyn to open up as a 2.5-point favorite is not ideal because Brooklyn's not a good team. But with Trae Young out for Atlanta, they're really not a good team either. They were on, the last I knew, they were the eighth and final team for a playoff spot. I don't know if they've moved out of that yet. I haven't, but it's not the best matchup. So we look at that. Let's take a look at that game. Dejounte Murray, he's the number one dude there since Trae Young is out. Jalen Johnson's another one, but does not have the best matchup. Flip side of that, with Brooklyn, Michael Bridges, he's got a fantastic matchup here, but he's been sucking lately. Not, you know, or against, they just played Orlando, which they aren't a very good team either. They lost 108 to 81, so not ideal. We look at that. He got 10 fantasy points there, 21. So did have a 35 fantasy point game, but his price is over 7,000 or 7,000 or above. I'm not a huge fan of. In the same range, Cam Thomas has a good matchup here. Did not play Tuesday versus due to an ankle. Let's kind of see if he will play here. If Cam Thomas is out, Lonnie Walker makes sense. Cam Johnson makes sense. Dennis Schroeder makes sense. So we'll kind of have to wait for this news to kind of feel feel it out, see who's going to be playing, see who's in that realm. So I don't know if I want to pay $6,500 for Cam Thomas with a bad ankle because that's what he's got to do. He's got to run up and down the court. So I would look at Claxton a little bit. I would look at Sadiq Bey, DeAndre Hunter. Hunter did let us, I believe he let us down on Tuesday. I mean, he didn't let us down. He only got 28.75. At 5,300 is okay. 30 plus is what you're kind of hoping for there. Clint Capella, just you don't know what you're going to get out of him. The minutes have fluctuated, but against Utah, 25 minutes, 32.75 fantasy points. Trying to see if he's played Brooklyn this year. He did. He got 29 fantasy points at 5,900, so he's 600 less, which is okay. Brooklyn on the 22nd of November, 40.25. So he's had good matchups here. 5,300, I don't mind. 5,300 for Capella, I'm completely okay with. Probably off of the train of Simmons, Sharp, but if you want to go down to 3,900 for Lonnie Walker the fourth, I'm okay with that. The other day he was our 7 times value pick of the day, our boomstick shot, and I think he missed 7 times value by 0.25. So he's still there. I don't want Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't want Fernando. It's basically Lonnie Walker down here at 3,900. Schroeder, a lot of the value will open up. Now, this is why I tell you, check the website about 2 hours before tip-off. If Cam Thomas is out, that'll open up way more value for Brooklyn here. But I don't mind Lonnie Walker here at all at his price of 3,900. Golden State versus New York Knicks. We've got Golden State open up as a 4.5-point favorite. Steph was my favorite play of the day a couple of days ago. Did not produce like I thought he would. So we look as to why. We look at this. Played 30 minutes of that game because they were, against Washington. It was a fantastic matchup for him. He just didn't get the points. He only had 18 real points, 37.75 fantasy points, and 9,500 was not going to do it. And they have not moved the dial here on his salary. So we look at 9,500. I completely understand. I'm not as high on him as I was the other day, trying to see if he's played the Knicks, see what he's done this year against them. Maybe. Not 100% sure if they've played. Unless I missed it, I don't think he played them. So at 9,500, I might be off of him a little bit. Jalen Brunson being out the other day on Tuesday was okay. He's got neck spasms. So if Jalen, this is something to watch. So if Brunson is out, then that will bring up Miles McBride and Alec Burks. So let's see what those two did. Because Dante, Hart, Precious, Draymond, Kuminga, they're all good options, but you guys want the value here. So if we look what Miles McBride did in Jalen's absence, 40 minutes against New Orleans at 30.75 fantasy points, was 4,500. They have bumped him up to 5,000, which is okay. That would be, if he got the exact same what he got the last time, 6 times value, which is fine. Again, you're not going to get 7.5 times value out of every single player. But at 5,000, he does allow you to pay up at other positions on the slate. Alec Burks is another one. See what he did with the absence. Only played 16 minutes, got 8 fantasy points. So if Jalen Brunson's out, McBride, I think he might be a little sneakier option at his price of 5,000, which I don't mind at all. But again, you can't go wrong with Dante, Josh Hart, Precious, those guys. You cannot go wrong in that sense. We've got OKC versus San Antonio. We've got OKC right now being a 10.5-point favorite with a 240 over-under, so a high over-under. SGA, obviously, Wembanyama. The guy, I watched a video, I don't remember who was trying to get a rebound away from him, and he literally just put his hand up and stopped it, which was hilarious. They have moved his price up to $10,100, which is the most expensive he's ever been. Coming off 52, probably looking at 50 plus here. As long as it's not a huge blowout, I could see him getting what he needs, especially he's got a fantastic matchup here. SGA has one of the best matchups. If I'm paying up today, it's probably SGA. He's got one of the best matchups, if not the best today. Obviously, all these other guys make sense. You come down here, Malachi Branham, the minutes are there. They are there for him at his $3,400 price. Hasn't done a ton with it, but again, you don't need a ton to be done with it. So if this is an actual blowout, Malachi could be a fantastic option at $3,400. Because if you put him there, you put your other value there, it could be sneaky here. I don't think a lot of people are going to be on him, so I'm definitely looking at Malachi here for sure. Let's just throw him in there for fun right now. We'll mix and match if we need to. We'll do guard, and then we'll just throw him in guard right now. And we'll see what we can do. So just depending on what you're doing, probably SGA makes sense. Not a ton down here. Like Aaron Wiggins, you look at the game logs, the minutes they're not ideal. In this game, it makes sense for the big guys, the big prices. Probably taking SGA over Wemby today is how I feel. Holmgren, I don't think you can go wrong with at center. Jalen Williams, Devin Vassell, these guys I'm looking at. But Malachi is a sneaky one, I think, today. Then Houston versus Phoenix to end it. We don't have these last two games. Phoenix open up as a 6.5-point favorite with no over-under there. So we look at that. Durant makes sense. Booker makes sense. I am questioning what am I not seeing? Oh, I'm thinking the wrong game. Who was the player we used here? Booker? Did we use Booker the other day? I think we did. He let us down at 39. He has not had the best couple of games in a row here. Now he's facing Houston. He has a middle-of-the-pack matchup here. Segan I'm looking at. Jabari Smith. If you want to come down, Royce O'Neal, the minutes are what scares me. 37 minutes his last game, but then 17 prior against this Houston team. That's why, he had a fantastic 10 times value. Look at this. He had 10 times value here against the Lakers his last game he played. But against Houston, he played on a week ago. 17 minutes and only 9 fantasy points. A good matchup. I think people are going to be on him for his 10 times value here. Maybe he's priced where we need him, but the matchup prior scares me a little bit there. Eubanks, tournament, 4,300, I'm okay with. Minutes have been all up and down, though. That's what scares me. So yeah, looking at this, not a ton of plays I like. Obviously Durant, obviously Booker. We're looking at Segan, Jabari Smith. If you're looking for value, maybe a little bit of Royce O'Neal, maybe a little bit of Drew Eubanks. Thad Young, the minutes have been there. He's been okay. 3,500. You're looking for 18, 19 fantasy points. I don't know if we're going to get there with him. Aaron Holiday, the minutes have kind of been there. Outage has not been there. So not a ton. Like for a 6-game slate, there's not a huge amount of plays. I'm like, I got to use them. Exactly what we need. This is the man. Like, I'm scared a little bit of this slate. It's a 6-game slate, but I honestly might play very light today. But I wanted to get a video out to you guys to kind of show you the thought process behind the games, the Vegas numbers and stuff like that. But all of that will be updated by the time you watch it. So if you go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, hover over NBA, you can see all the tools we have. We are using the tool of NBA points allowed by position to build a lineup. Now, this is not the only way to do it. We do have optimal lineups. This is yesterday's cheat sheet. In these cheat sheets, we've got, like I said, every single position. These are cash plays. These are tournament plays. These are leverage plays. Then we've got tiers. We've got Fanduel lineups, DraftKings lineups, boomstick shots are the 7 times value that we talk about. So this is a tool. This is another tool. But we're going to use the first tool here. So if we go through, you want to check out and how to look at this is the team on the left is the defense. These are the amount of points they give up to the opposing teams and by each position, which is critical. So we look at this. Phoenix gives up the second most, but first most on this slate. 55.2 fantasy points to the opposing point guard. So you look at this. Phoenix is playing Houston. Who's the point guard for Houston? Is it Van Vliet? We look at this. He's playing Phoenix. He played 6 days ago. 42.75 fantasy points. He was 6,700, which is nice. Let's see. 6,600 times 7. You're looking at 46. So he got just under 6, about 6.5 times value there, which is fine. If you're playing cash or tournament, that's fine. He's in a matchup here. The minutes are good. We looked at that. He had 37 minutes against Phoenix last time. They're second worst overall here. So I will put Van Vliet in this one for this build. Now, if you make multiple lineups, there's obviously different ways to build. This is just one of those ways. We look at this. Atlanta gives up the most amount of fantasy points to shooting guards at 47.2 fantasy points. So we go to shooting guard. We go to Atlanta. They're playing Brooklyn. Michael Bridges. Like I said, he had a fantastic matchup. Both of these teams are bad. You could look at Michael Bridges. You could look at Lonnie Walker if you think the value is going to open up, depending on what you want to do. So let's, for instance, on this one, let's go Bridges, and then we can come back to Walker if we feel confident about him, which maybe we will. Moving forward, we'll just have to see. Moving to the small forward, you got Utah gives up an average of 50 fantasy points to the opposing small forward. Utah, they're playing Orlando. Small forward, Wagner. That's basically what you're paying for. Game log wise, the minutes are there. Kind of down the last game against Brooklyn. Now he's playing he's playing Utah. Teams against Utah seem to put up some points. Let's see if he's played Utah this year. Played him on November 2nd, 41.5 fantasy points at 6,700. He is up there to 7,600, but he's got a good matchup. So in this instance, he has a good matchup right here for Wagner. So we move to the power forward position. Atlanta gives up the most amount of it's Atlanta and Utah, 52.5 and 52.3. So Atlanta versus Utah. So Orlando and Brooklyn. If you want to look at power forward, and you can have both of these. So Paolo, is he going to be out? Questionable. Could be his third straight game. So if he is out, that will open up value here, like a Mo Wagner. If you want to go the Wagner brothers here, we can definitely do that. Minutes wise, ish, but had a good outing here against Brooklyn. Trying to see what he did against Utah last time, if he even played or got minutes. Against Utah, was that November? So like early November, November 2nd? Yeah, okay. So in that, he played 19 minutes, got 17.25, was 3,800. Now he's 4,500. I'm probably off of Mo Wagner on this one. Probably don't want to do much. Cam Johnson against Atlanta. 29. I mean, the minutes are there. Hasn't really done much at 4,900. Seeing if he's played Atlanta this year. Played him on the 6th. 32.5 was 6,500. They dropped him down to 4,900. I'm okay with Cam Johnson, specifically if Thomas is out. So then that brings us to the center position now. Put it at the center position, Washington, Portland, San Antonio. San Antonio gives up an average of 59.2 fantasy points per game to opposing centers. 59.2, which is wild because you got Wemby there who's 18 foot tall that should be okay to block everyone, but he just doesn't. So if we look at that, we got OKC centers. Holmgren is what I said. Said he was in a good matchup here. Seeing what he's done against San Antonio last time. 41.75, 7,300. So he is up a little bit. See if he's played him. He's only played him once this year? No. 14th, put up 27.75. So he hasn't had the best matchup. But again, he's been on fire lately. 18 real points, 29, 25. So he's had some good games. I'll put in a Chet Holmgren there. Then that averages a forward and a utility for 6,300. So, like I said, let's go Walker. I just kind of feel we can put him in there at 3,900, which then opens up our utility spot for 8,700, which is a fantastic spot to be in for utility because you could do a lot with that price. So come to the utility spot and come down to 8,700. Again, you do not have to use every single dollar, but Segan, not the best matchup against Phoenix. But let's see if he played them on the 23rd, got 40.5. Not my favorite. Doesn't have the best matchup. You've got Markkanen you could look at. You've got Johnson you could look at. Bridges. Miles Bridges on the other hand. But again, he did 8,200. He didn't do a lot in that game. Josh Hart against Golden State. I mean, the minutes are there for Josh. I kind of really like Josh. Let's see if he's done well against Golden State this year, if he's played them. Maybe they haven't played. Okay, maybe they haven't played, but Josh Hart, we kind of just look. Lately, his minutes have been 40 plus, getting 15 plus points in his last 4 games. Rebounds are there. Fantasy points are there. He's 7,100. I don't mind that. So if you go with like a Josh Hart, you got 1,600 left over. You could find another spot, another player to pay up for if you didn't feel confident about maybe Van Vliet. Let's just say we take Van Vliet out. We look at that. 8,200 for a shooting guard. Devin Vassell against OKC. Vassell's been pretty good. So against OKC, let's see what he's done. 40.25 at 6,800. I don't mind Devin Vassell. He's another one. So this is just one lineup to build. This is a way that I go about it. If you have a different way, if you're looking for other things, if you want to check out the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, you can. If you want to check out our Discord, you can do that as well. So that's what I've got in this video. Hopefully this video helped you become a better DFS player. If it didn't, I apologize. But we have a lot coming your way in the near future. So that's what I've got. Good luck. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.